I have a feeling this video is going to inspire some of those comments that I used to get about being scared that I'm gonna spill my coffee. I'm gonna try really hard. I'm wearing a white sweater. This was a bad idea. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. As you may have noticed, things have changed in this little filming area once again because I cannot make up my mind. I had been wondering how this would look if I put the chair in the corner and moved the bookshelf over a little bit. And the only reason I didn't do this to begin with was because this is also my desk chair. So it's not always in this corner. Sometimes it's at my desk. And when this corner is just completely empty and the bookshelf is over here, it looked really weird. But you know what? I'm just gonna have to deal with how weird it looks when the chair is not here because this looks so much better to me. I will find out when I'm editing if I still think it looks better, but let me know in the comments below if you like this sort of setup for my filming because I think it looks much better. You might also notice one huge difference on the bookshelf is that Morgana is missing, and that's because I was missing her on the bookshelves in the other room, and my husband actually told me that he was missing her a little bit as well, and she was a gift from him, so I wanted to put her in a place where we could both really appreciate her. So she is back in her original home on the bookshelves, and I have changed this up a little bit. Finally, just one more little thing, and then I promise I will dive into the topic of this video, but I have been sick, so you can probably hear it in my voice. I'm better now, but you can still really hear it in my voice and throat and sort of sinus area. There's still a little bit of recovery happening, so I apologize in advance if my voice is not the most aesthetically pleasing in this video. All right, let's go. Topic of today. I have been thinking a lot lately about the idea of settling down. And in my case, more specifically, the seeming inability to settle down. And I don't just mean concretely, because yes, as you probably have followed along, and if you're new here, hello, welcome. You can catch up with some of my videos on all of the chaos that has been my life the past year. But what's really weird to me is that now we're in the Netherlands. We've been here since September, and we are gonna be here for a few years, and that's pretty certain. So there is no reason why we can't take a deep breath and really sink into this experience and look at it kind of like we looked at Paris, where it's not forever, but it's going to be a good chunk of time and there's no reason not to settle. However, I feel like mentally I'm struggling to settle. Physically, I am here. We have all of our stuff with us. We just, for the holidays, we went back to my in-laws. We brought some more of our stuff that we'd stored there that we weren't able to bring to New York. Some things with EU plugs that would not have worked in New York or in Canada, but will work now. Like I have my coffee bean grinder because I had to give my last one that I bought in New York, I gave it to a friend in Canada. And now I have my EU plug one. Very small example, but very important for a coffee lover like me. Going back through some of that stuff that I had in storage at my in-laws, I think also kind of reactivated these thoughts in my mind because I saw some stuff that I had forgotten that we even had. Some like dishware and stuff like that, some of that we gave to friends or we, let some of my husband's family use, but some of it wasn't really useful to them, so it was just in storage. There were some bowls, there were some cups, some things that just weren't useful to anybody and that maybe we would want in the future. And going back through some of that stuff, I realized, I guess two things. One, I had a few things that I didn't even remember I had, so how important were they really? And two, it kind of reminded me how settled we had gotten when we were in Paris without even realizing it, to be honest. And that's put into perspective a lot for me. My entire trajectory since that first move to the UK over 10 years ago now, it's been 11 and a half years since I moved to the UK. And since I guess I started to adopt this more suitcase life sort of approach, and that sounds a bit silly to say now because if you've seen my apartment, you see we have a growing bookshelf. We have definitely started investing in some things that make us happy. We've tried to decorate. We've done, a lot of stuff in the places that we've lived, and we've changed our approach a little bit as we've gone. But at the same time, I'm not sure I've ever completely outgrown or gotten out of this mindset, I guess, that I developed, which is really practical and minimalistic in a lot of ways. I once had a friend tell me that she thought I was very minimalistic by need, or I don't remember exactly how she said it, but I think it was minimalistic by necessity, not by choice, because it was at the time when minimalism was all the rage and when so many people were getting into it as more of an aesthetic. And I'm not going to criticize it because I think it has a lot of merits, and to each their own. Whatever reasons people dive into one of those things, I think minimalism is definitely a safer thing to try out than a lot of the other aesthetics that you see online. But that was never something that I sought to achieve in my life. I never sought out minimalism, but I had so few things compared to so many people. I remember trying to film some of my, book videos and writing videos, and I would try just to like find all of the books and the book-like things like this, for example. This is not a book. This is a container for Irish whiskey. Actually, it's a joke. It's called Writer's Tears. I'm not gonna get into it. I've talked about it before. But anything that looked like a book, I would try and put it in the background of my videos because I just felt like all these booktubers and author tubers, they have such nice, like huge bookshelves full of books, and I would just dream of that, but I just didn't have it, and I didn't necessarily even want it because when I would buy stuff, my first thought would be, how hard will this be to transport when I move next? And that's a very legitimate question because I've moved a lot. Our moves have evolved over time. We've taken more things with us. We've invested a little bit more into those moves. There is no reason why I shouldn't feel comfortable investing a little bit of time and energy and passion into my space and making it more at home. That's something that you probably have seen reflected in some of my vlogs as well. I've really tried to let myself do that. And some days it's not a problem. Some days I wake up and I have so much energy to put into making this home my home. I have a lot of things that I care about that bring me joy, as one might say. Like my bookshelves, like the duvet set that I got not too long ago, like our desk. We have a really fun desk setup that we set up in New York, and we have committed to bringing that thing with us everywhere. We call it Mega Desk. I've talked about this before. I think I've posted stuff on Instagram stories and stuff, but massive desk that my husband and I share. We love it. It's great for gaming. We have invested in things that we really love, that we use, that bring us joy, that make our space more at home. And we have committed to bringing those things with us each step of the way, which is super helpful. It's also helpful if you have cats. This is something that I try to explain to dog people a lot. Cats are very territorial. So each time that we've moved, it's been hard for our cats, but it's better if we can bring their scratchers and their cat trees and their toys and a bunch of that stuff with us because it smells like them, they've made it theirs already, and they recognize it. And I think for people, it kind of works similarly a lot of times, especially maybe people who are a little bit more ambiverted or introverted. I would call myself an ambivert. I don't really do well with being by myself for very long, except if I'm very focused and working or something, but I would prefer to do that with someone who I know, like a really good friend or my husband or a family member. But at the same time, I also get really exhausted in social situations. So I want home to feel very cozy so that I can be here at the times when I'm by myself, but also when I'm here with my husband, when I'm here with friends. I want it to feel super cozy because I do have that kind of introverted side to me. So it's very important, I think, to have those things that you bring with you everywhere. And for the longest time, those things were much simpler, much skimmer. It would be my phone and my computer and some clothes and some jewelry. I've broken out some really, really old jewelry. This is one, I showed it on Instagram. This ring is ancient. It's like a double ring. It's like a chunky 2010 style double ring. And I discovered that I really still like it. I still think I am a pretty minimal person overall. I think if tomorrow you told me I had to get rid of everything that I had, except for those, few prized possessions and keepsakes, and of course my husband and my cats, who are part of the family and are not among the things that I will just scrap tomorrow. If I had to get rid of my bookshelves and my books and my bed and my couch and all of these things, and I had to start from scratch all over again, I would be sad, but I don't think I feel the same attachment to it that a lot of people do. But also, those things have kind of become part of what makes home to me. And they are important to me in some way, shape, or form, more than I realized maybe they could be before I had, I guess, furniture that had come with me to different places and that I really felt like was mine. I just feel like I'm kind of caught between these two ways of life, and in my early 30s now, I see so many of my friends and family members settling and buying places for like looking very far in the future, places that they plan to make their homes possibly forever, but if not forever, for a very long time. And people just really, really sowing roots. Growing roots? Sowing seeds to grow roots. Really settling down. I am not there, obviously, for practical reasons, because our lives kind of entail some moving around a lot more than maybe other people in my life. I'm not the most adventurous in my friend group, but I'm probably definitely on the more adventurous half, let's say, maybe the more adventurous fourth when it comes to moving around and that sort of thing. Even though I am now in a place where it's safe, I guess, in a way, to settle and to take a deep breath and to know that I'm gonna be here for a while, even if we end up moving apartments, because this is not necessarily the dream apartment. I will admit that we're not super happy with this apartment where we're living right now. It's not the worst in the world. Like, we're very grateful to have it, and I know we're very fortunate to have what we have, but it also doesn't exactly check a lot of the boxes that we really were hoping or want in an apartment. So we probably will be moving apartments at one point in the future, but we are gonna stay in the city for a while. So there's no reason why I can't like take a deep breath and settle a little bit. But there's something in me that just doesn't want to, that's resisting it. Take the bookshelves, for example, a very good example, because you know how much they mean to me. I don't stop talking about them ever. You're probably sick of it. There are days when I wake up and I look at those shelves and all the books and all of the little trinkets and fun things that we've accumulated over the years, and it just brings me so much joy. And I think about all the fun memories and all of the stories that I've been able to enjoy and the ones that I haven't yet, and how excited I am to read those. And there are other days when I look at the shelves and I just get an overwhelming urge to declutter and to get rid of anything that is not absolutely special and collector's edition or signed by an author or something, and just convert to Kindle and get rid of all of that extra space and weight that those books take up. That kind of hurts my heart to say right now because I'm in a more sentimental mood today, but tomorrow it might be different. Tomorrow it might be declutter mode where I just really want to get rid of everything. I don't know why this is the case. I don't quite know why I flip between these two modes so much. It's very unpredictable. I haven't let myself do anything about it. I have not decluttered. I have not done anything drastic because I know that those things mean a lot to me. And again, we're gonna be here for so many years. If I'm gonna declutter, it's gonna be, you know, before whatever step that we take next. Not now when I can actually appreciate them. And I'm very proud of the collection. I'm very proud of all the books that I've bought. I have been good about buying books that matter to me. There have been a few impulse buys, I'm not gonna lie, but I've donated a lot of stuff as well. I donated when we left New York, I donated when we left Montreal. That is what we do. We don't keep stuff that doesn't really matter to us for the most part, which is why I say we're pretty minimal still, but there definitely are just more things in our life than before. It's weird. I'm getting to the point of the video where I feel like I'm starting to talk in circles because I think I've gotten my point across. So now I would like to direct it to you. I would love to ask you if you have moved around a lot, or even just one big move that maybe has been unsettling or made you think about a lot of things or go through a lot of things. I would love to know your thoughts on settling down or not settling down. All in all, I know that a lot of this is just a result of all of the moves that I've done. Every move has been different, every situation has been different, every feeling about the move and aftermath has been completely different, and the way that I've settled into each place that I've lived has been different. Different is the key word here, can you tell? It's just part of it, and for the most part I love that, and I love this style of life that we're living, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with challenges, and challenges that are new to me sometimes, even though I've done this so many times, because each one is different, keyword. I don't always know how I'm gonna react to it and how we're gonna react to it, but that's just part of it. That is part of the fun, that is part of the adventure, that is part of the excitement, and that is what I like to talk about on here. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you have found this conversation interesting, maybe relatable for you now or in the past or in the future. Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I would love to have a discussion about this very interesting and I think really important aspect of moving abroad and living abroad. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you're not subscribed yet, you can subscribe by clicking the button down below. You can turn on notifications if you'd like to as well, to see when I upload next. I will be talking a lot more about my experience moving and living abroad, but also creativity and writing. As you can see, that is a huge part of what I do, and everything else that comes in 2025. Because yes, this is my first video of 2025. Hopefully by the next video, I will not be quite as sick and my voice will be a little bit more pleasant to listen to. Thank you for listening this far if you have. I will now go rest my voice and drink my coffee, but also probably make myself some tea, because that's probably what I should be drinking today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon in another video.